My name is McKenna Muchigamba, a student here at the University of the Incarnate Word. Welcome to Food for Thought, hosted by Father Jim Schellenberg. Father Jim cannot be with us today. We want to thank him for allowing us to use his program to introduce Dr. Abuelaish to the Catholic community here in the Archdiocese of San Antonio. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Now, Dr. Abuelaish, what brings you to the United States at this time?
No, I used to come to the United States, but this time, last October, I met with Sister Martha at the Nobel Peace Prize Laureate Summit and the Charter of Compassion, where I was supposed to receive an award. I gave some speeches and we met, and that's the issue, to bring us together. She said, your message should be heard in San Antonio and to talk to the people, and that's what I believe in. We met there, and today we are here, and I am inspired more than before and hopeful about our world when a group of people, dedicated women, they come together to organize a week full of activities to inspire the people and to encourage them to take action.
Yeah, I love that. Speaking of taking action, I know you published a book, I Shall Not Hate, in 2011. Can you tell me a little bit about how that came about?
Yeah, my book, it's about, and any story that we read, it's not the stories that we read it. It's about life experience. We need to learn from it. And my life experience as a Palestinian who was born and raised as a Palestinian refugee in Jabalia refugee camp with the challenges where my life was a war. I was fighting to survive and to challenge the man-made challenges. But I succeeded in my life. I didn't allow all of these challenges to stop me from dreaming or achieving what I want to be. So I did it from Jabalia camp to go to have my MD from Cairo University, to Harvard University, to London, to Italy, to Belgium, to this world, to achieve it. And that's what proved to me that there is hope in this world and nothing is impossible in life. So I wanted to share this experience with others, to inspire them, to motivate them. Do your part, don't give up. Take action, have faith, have hope. But most important, to take action. And nothing is impossible. Someone in this world can oppress, can occupy, can kill, but no one can prevent us from dreaming. So I encourage the students and the people and the new generations to dream big, but the dreams are not just words. It needs actions. It needs also faith and to come together to achieve it. So that's what, but everything in life and the life itself is full of surprises. The book came out after the tragedy, and the tragedy of the killing of my daughters in 2009, when an Israeli tank shell in what we call a war. And what is war? War is not the soldier who is going to kill and to be killed. And wars are not to be documented or to talk about it now. Wars are to be prevented, to be avoided, not to be documented. And it's a propaganda, it's dishonesty of the humanity, it's a slavery of the humanity. And we need to prevent wars. We need to wage wars against poverty, against hatred, against racism, against discrimination, against cancers. And that's the war we want to come up with. And that's why when my daughters were killed with my niece, Noor, and others were severely wounded, and that's the book came, and my reaction to that, the people were expecting me to be afflicted with hatred, to react in a negative way with hatred. I said to myself, why do they want me to hate? And whom to hate? That's why the answer was, I shall not hate. A Gaza doctor journey on the road to peace and the human dignity. It means I shall not be broken. I shall not be defeated. I am not going to accept it, to accept to be a victim and to be defeated and to collapse, but to keep moving forward and to carry the message and the spirits of my daughters, my niece, and the loved ones, my sisters, my nephews, my nieces, my cousins who were murdered after October 7, more than 70, to carry their spirits and their souls, to inject it and to transfuse it into a vein of hope, of dignity, of justice, of equality, of humanity in our world. And that's what is needed to replace war, the pandemic of war, of racism, with a pandemic of justice, dignity, equality, respect, rights. And that's what we need in our world. Negative is not going to be managed with negative. We need a positive message in this world. And that's why this book came up, and I see the impact of it on the people. Once they hear the message, to say to me, you changed my life. And that's the blessing I can send to my daughters, that their holy souls, noble blood wasn't waste. It made a difference in others' lives. And that's what we need in this world. We all to come together, to learn and to think of each other, to act and to show compassion. Compassion is not just a word to have the feeling, but to take a responsibility to change the context and the triggers of harm induced to our people.
Wow. How did you move on from such a horrific incident and move into like a perspective of light?
What helped me in my life? My life, as I said, it was a war. And give me in this world anyone's life which is flat line, static. Life is dynamic, changing, ups and downs, and that's the beauty of life. But when we go down without fear, we have to go up and to resume, and that's the resilience. So what helped me? I am a person of faith. Faith is an essential, is the major element in my life which keeps me moving. And I fully believe everything from God is for good. And faith helps me to transform the tragedies, the challenges we are facing, into positive, into opportunities. Not everything we see it's negative. Even in darkness, there is something positive in it. How can we extract the light from the darkness? And how we think, our perception of the challenges, to use it as an experience and to learn from it to build the future of our life. And this is a tragedy that I faced with my faith to trigger in me the action not to accept it to anyone on earth. I see my daughters in every human being, in every young woman, in every child around the world. And that's what is important, faith. My education is the light to guide us in darkness. We can't equalize between the one who knows and the one who doesn't. That's why we need to promote education in a positive way. Education which crosses the barriers of the institution to have a social, a human, healthy, peaceful impact in the community. Why do we educate our students? Why do we have this institution? To serve the community. It's not just to have a diploma. The education is a means to an end, and the end is to give back to your community and to serve the community. My life experience helped me a lot. My life, as I said, it was a war full of challenges. I was walking on landmines, but I reached to my goals. And also my life, my profession as a medical doctor taught me when a patient dies, I don't stay there. I have to move to the next patient. But I have to learn why the first patient died. And I have to prevent any more deaths. And that's life, to be resilient, to be tolerant, to keep moving, and to use your strengths in order to move. As Einstein said, life is like riding a bicycle. To keep balanced, we have to keep moving, carrying the spirits of the loved and the beloved ones, not to forget them. And that's the oath I gave to my daughters. I will never rest. I will never relax. I will never give up. I will never forget you, because I fully believe one day I will meet them, and I want to meet them with a big gift to them. It's justice for them and life for others.
Yeah. You're kind of mentioning a lot of world experience, and going out into the world, you can probably view anger as a disease. How can one deal with anger?
Anger, when we are angry as a result of a certain action. Anger can be positive and negative. We don't want to promote negative anger. Negative anger that is destructive and harmful to others and leads to harm to others. But anger in general is acute. It comes and leaves. We need to promote positive anger. When I see something wrong, to promote me, to motivate me, to trigger in me, do your part. Take responsibility, show compassion. When I see a child in the street crossing the road, what do? I have to run to save the child. If I see an old man who is crossing, needs help, I have to give hand. And that's the anger. We need to have positive anger. But most important is the hatred. The hatred, which is a chronic, destructive, contagious disease in this world. And no one is born with hatred. It's induced. It's injected. It's triggered. It's the result of exposure. Hatred is not by nature, as some people they think of. It's by nurture. Someone is spreading it in this world through the acts, the man-made acts, racism, discrimination, incitement, fear-mongering, discrimination, prejudice, injustice, suffering. All of these, hate crime, hate speech, all of these, fear-mongering, they are spreading. These socio-endemic diseases are more dangerous than the biological and pathological diseases. And we need to tackle them and to speak about them and to expose them. And don't blame the victim of hatred. Blame the one who triggered the hatred in them and the suffering in them. So I say to the people who are afflicted with hatred at the same time, don't be a victim more than once. If you are afflicted with this disease because of a brutal harm or hurt induced to you, you are a victim of it. You need to shift from being a victim to a survival. In order to help them, we need to promote accountability and liability and to prevent the triggers, not to put all of the burden on the victims. We need all those who are spreading and inducing hatred to stop from it, to prevent it. And that's the main issue of using hatred as a contagious disease. And it's the result of exposure and the public health approach. We need, like COVID, what do? To immunize the people and to prevent exposure to the pathogen.
Now, I know you mentioned Sister Martha Ann brought you here this week to talk to students and kind of spread your message. What else is your hope when visiting San Antonio?
I am happy with the result we have with meeting with the students whom, for me, are the hope.
Yeah.
Because they are the future.
Yeah.
And they are the hope, and they care.
Yeah.
They are authentic. They are pure. They are not poisoned with the politics. So this is important. The second, I am expecting, and that's what Sister Martha and all of the group, they came together, look forward to build a partnership with the university to support Daughters for Life Foundation, which I established in memory of my daughters, Bisan, Mayar, Aya, and my niece Noor, for education of girls and young women. And to send a message to this world that this tragedy was invested for good, to educate young women. And nothing is more important and more beneficial than having a charity for education of girls and young women at the level of undergraduate and graduate education. And why women? Why young women? Because this world is created from Adam and Eve. Not from one, but both, to complement each other, to work together. And who are women? I ask, can you give me someone who is not in debt in his or her life to women? To our mothers, to our sisters, to our daughters, to our aunts, to our partners. Women are the light of the world.
Yeah.
Women are the ones who give life. Women are the ones who nurture life. Women, they have the big heart. They are the most resilient. They breastfeed resilience, tolerance, compassion. So it's time to give women, and to not to empower women, but to give women the right means and the opportunities, and to practice the role based on the means they learned to make the world a better one, side by side with men. Women are not a threat to the world. Women complement and are a major asset to our world. That's why, because I believe achieving a peaceful world that is a stable, sustainable, healthy, peaceful, just, equal, dignified world is the function, duty, and role of women, women's education. When you go to any country, if you want to ask and to know about that country, don't ask about the GDP or the military power of that country. Ask about the level of women's education and women's role in that country. That's the major indicator of development. Women's education, role, participation in decision making is the major indicator of development. We need this world to be developed by engaging women in decision making and taking their role and doing their part, and to give a trust to women. I am sure if women were engaged, the world will never be as it is now.
Yeah.
It will be much different than it is now.
Yeah. As a woman, I personally see a lot of hate around the world just on my phone or just walking around campus or even in the convenience store. How can myself and others transform hate into love?
You know, what do you mean? First of all, how you protect yourself from hate. That's what you need. Spreading, what is spreading? Misinformation, propaganda, fear-mongering. And you are smart. You need to use your mind. Think of what is right and what is wrong, and not to be trapped in this fear and fear-mongering. Don't judge things based on what you hear, but based on what do you see, and not to think in the way they are trying to propagate and to send the other. The other, who's the other? My human fellow. Not based on color, ethnicity, and fear kills. That's always, they used fear to kill others. Move in this world with your good heart, open heart. Expect the goodness from all of the people. Don't judge the people based on their color, ethnicity, religion, or background. Based on that they are human like you are. Think of them. Don't see the outside. By the end, I ask, if you want to judge based on the color, ethnicity, religion, do we bleed the same color or not? We bleed the same color. If we bleed the same color, we need to see each other as the same.
Yeah.
If the inside of us is the same, why we judge each other based on the externalities? We want to judge based on how do we deal with each other. And that's what is needed to advocate, even to expose these fears and these fear incitements and fear mongering and this misinformation, to oppose it and to send the truth. Because as Jesus said, peace be upon him, seek the truth and the truth sets us free. Amen. We need to expose the truth and to use it and to spread the humanity. The humanity brings us together. Politics divides us, and not to be victims of the political leaders who are only living to spread a political divisive agenda.
I think myself and the viewers watching can agree we have learned a lot from this discussion and we'll be reflecting on it. Thank you so much for being on to Food for Thought and coming to UIW.
Thank you so much, and it's my pleasure. And I leave San Antonio more inspired to do more, and with your support to spread the message and take the message to spread it among your friends, your family, your community. When we all come together, we can make the world a better one for all of us, and not to underestimate your action. Each of you as a student, you have a responsibility. Start by yourself. Everything starts small, then it becomes big. We have this interview here in this small room. I am sure it spreads to many other people and it reaches its goal. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.
Amen. And to the viewers watching, thanks so much for tuning in.